Sir, could you pretend to be my daddy? Just for one day? The question came from a tiny voice trembling in the cold air. Daniel froze. He had just stepped out of his rusty pickup truck, still wearing his grease-stained jacket from a long shift at the auto shop. The little girl, maybe 6 or 7, stood on the edge of the sidewalk, clutching a torn teddy bear. Her cheeks were flushed red from the wind, her shoes barely holding together. Behind her, an old apartment building loomed, the kind that smelled of cigarettes, broken dreams, and unpaid rent. Daniel blinked, unsure he'd heard right. "Sweetheart, what did you say?" She looked up with big brown eyes, scared, hopeful, and way too wise for her age. "Please, sir, just pretend. My school is having a dad's day. Everyone else has a dad coming. And Her voice cracked. "I just don't want to be the only one again." For a second, Daniel felt his heart drop. He wanted to tell her he couldn't, that he didn't even know her. But something inside him, maybe the part that had been aching since losing his own daughter years ago, wouldn't let him walk away. Before we go deeper, remember, stories like this remind us how powerful kindness can be. If you believe the world still has good people in it, take a second to subscribe the channel and share this video. You never know who might need this message today. "All right," Daniel finally said softly, kneeling to her height. "What's your name?" "Maya," she whispered, wiping her eyes with the back of her sleeve. "Well, Maya," he smiled gently, "I guess I'm your stand-in dad for a day." The way her face lit up, that was all he needed. When they walked into the school the next morning, Maya clutched his rough, calloused hand like it was made of gold. The gym was filled with laughter, fathers tossing footballs with their sons, little girls sitting proudly on their dads' laps. Daniel hadn't been inside a school since his own daughter's accident 5 years ago. The smell of chalk and cafeteria pizza hit him like a wave of memories. "Daddy, can we make the crown now?" Maya beamed, pointing to a craft table with colored paper and glue sticks. He chuckled softly. "Sure thing, princess." The word princess slipped out naturally, the same word he used to call his daughter, Lila. For a brief second, he almost forgot that Maya wasn't his. But not everyone was smiling. From across the gym, a tall man in a pressed suit, clearly Maya's teacher, and frowned at Daniel. He whispered something to a woman beside him, who gave the pair a long, skeptical look. Daniel tried to ignore it, but the unease crept in. He wasn't supposed to be here. He wasn't family. He was just a mechanic filling an empty space. Then Maya tugged his sleeve. "Look, I made you a paper tie." It was crooked, covered in glitter and glue with the words, "Best Dad Ever," scribbled in purple crayon. Daniel's throat tightened. That's beautiful, kiddo." Her smile could have melted a glacier. The event went perfectly, at least until the teacher, Mr. Henson, pulled Daniel aside afterward. "Sir," he said stiffly, "we appreciate you attending, but I need to confirm, or are you actually Maya's father?" Daniel hesitated, glancing at Maya waiting by the door. "No, I'm not. Her mom. She wasn't around to bring her, so you understand how inappropriate this looks, right?" The teacher cut him off. "You can't just show up pretending to be someone's parent." Daniel swallowed hard. "I was just trying to help." Before the argument could continue, a frail voice interrupted them. "Is there a problem here?" A woman stood in the doorway, clearly exhausted, holding a cheap handbag and a face full of worry. Maya's mom. Her clothes were clean but worn, her hair tucked under a faded scarf. "I'm so sorry," she said breathlessly. "He was just trying to be kind. I asked him to take her. I couldn't get off my shift at the diner." Mr. Henson's expression softened, but his tone stayed cold. "Next time, ma'am, please inform us." Daniel nodded politely and led Maya's mom outside, where she sighed in relief. "I can't thank you enough," she said quietly. "You made her whole week. She hasn't smiled like that since her dad left." Daniel gave a sad smile. "No thanks needed. She's a special kid." Then Maya ran up, wrapping her arms around his waist. "Bye, Daddy Daniel." He froze, that name echoing through his chest. "Bye, kiddo," he whispered, watching her skip toward her mother. Weeks passed. Daniel thought that was the end of it. Just one good deed in a broken world. Until one rainy night, as he was locking up the garage, a fancy black sedan pulled up. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, holding an umbrella. "Mr. Daniels?" he asked. "Yeah?" The man handed him an envelope. "It's from Miss Brooks, Maya's mother." Daniel opened it, confused. Inside was a thank you card, a small drawing from Maya of the two of them holding hands, and a folded check. He stared. 25,000. He ran after the car. "Hey, I can't take this." "What is this for?" The driver stopped. Ms. Brooks insisted. "She said you helped her daughter believe in fathers again." Daniel stood there in the rain, the check soaking through his trembling fingers. But it wasn't the money that broke him. It was the note at the bottom of the drawing. Daddy Daniel. "I told Mom I don't need to pretend anymore. I know you're not my dad, but you made me feel like I had one." That night, Daniel sat in his small apartment, staring at the picture taped to his fridge. His chest ached, not with grief this time, but something healing, something whole. Sometimes family isn't blood. Sometimes love shows up in the shape of a stranger with calloused hands and a tired smile, and sometimes pretending to be someone's father becomes the most real thing in the world.